speaker, don't sit down. Don't sit down. Are you ready for Mr. Carl Schultz? I said to Mr. Carl Schultz, tell me a bit about who you are. He says, well, most important thing is I have 2 beautiful daughters. I love the guy already. That's the first thing he wants you to know. He loves his 2 daughters. He runs a company called Inspiring Purpose. Now, if a man loves his 2 daughters and his company is called Inspiring Purpose, I'm already interested in what it is he's going to say. He's going to be speaking to you about finding your edge. I want you guys to really raise the roof for this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, give me your best energy for the one and only Carl Schultz! Carly! We love you! Enjoy, Carl. Enjoy, mate.
Thank you, Robin. Good morning. As you heard, Robin said I come from Benoni. I actually was born in Springs. And you can't get more previously disadvantaged than that. I was chatting to my wife the other day and I said, if we have a 3rd child, we're going to call it Wong Li. And she was upset. She said, well, why do you want to give our child a Chinese name when we're not Chinese? And I said to her, no, Bronwyn, I read this article and it said that 1 in 3 babies born in the world today is Chinese. Sometimes, when we can't get what we want, we pretend we never wanted it anyway. How many times have we done that? How many times have I done that in my life? I'll try so hard to do something. I'll try so hard to achieve something in business or in life. And I just don't get it right. It's just too difficult. And then I start convincing myself that I didn't really want that anyway. I see it every day. You watch them disqualify themselves because whatever they're wanting seems out of reach. So what if I told you that it was easy to be successful? What if I told you that success was within your reach? What if I told you that there were only 2 things you needed to know in order for you to be successful? What if I told you that one of those 2 things you already have, and the other one we can master together? Most people go through life never even discovering that thing that's inside of them, that thing that gives them the edge. Let me tell you about your edge. What is the thing that gives you the edge? And he wasn't being arrogant when he said this. He said, the edge that we have is me as your leader. The edge that you bring to your business is you. Is that thing that sets you apart. Is that thing that makes you unique. That thing that makes you different to everyone else. That's your edge. Discover that thing inside of you that makes you different from everybody else. When we work at discovering our edge, the thing that's our greatest asset in life, we see as our greatest liability. For much part of my life, I disqualified myself from doing and from achieving. So I didn't go into a lot of opportunities because that was my liability. That was my block. That was the thing that was causing me to stumble. In my own mind, that was where I disqualified myself. And I convinced myself that I wouldn't be able to do it. I realized that what I thought was my biggest liability was actually my greatest asset. Your edge is that thing that sets you apart from everyone else. Your edge is that thing that makes you different. We taught to fit in. Be like everyone else. Let me tell you something. In your business, if you're different, that's when you succeed. You don't want to fit in. You want to stand out. At work, you want to stand out. You want to be noticed. You don't want to be the same as everyone else. Because the most valuable things in the world are those who are unique and those who are scarce. And you are both unique and scarce. There's only one of you in the whole world. And how many billion people? 7 billion people. There's only one of you. So that's the first thing. You need to find your edge. You need to find that thing inside of you that makes you unique. The second thing you need to know is confidence, or you need to have is confidence, the unstoppable kind. You need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in who you are, in that edge that you have. You need to stand up and be who you were created to be.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
The crazy ones, the ones who stand out, the ones who don't fit in when they were born to stand out, the ones who have found their edge and who live their edge and who are confident enough to walk around and tell the world that, you know what, I'm different and I'm proud to be different, and that's why you're going to hire me. That's why you want to do business with me, because I'm different. We live in a world of abundance, more than enough for everybody. There's more than enough business in this country for everyone. There's more than enough in the world for everyone. All you need to do is find your edge, that thing that sets you apart, and then build confidence. Be confident enough to go and talk about it. How many of you have failed with anything? Cool. Cool, that means you're one step closer to succeeding. There's a number. Unfortunately, we don't know what that number is. But there's a number of times that you have to fail. So don't you want to just get those failures out of the way? So how do we overcome fear? Number one, we overcome fear through knowledge. We overcome fear through knowledge, because all fear really is it's you don't really know what's going to happen. Your mind starts telling you those stories, and because you don't know. Why are your kids scared of the dark? Because they don't know what's in the dark. When you switch the light on, knowledge, they know what's in the dark, and they're not scared of it anymore. The point that I'm trying to make is that at 3 years old, we know that if something doesn't work, we've got to try a different angle. We can't do that same thing again. We've got to try something else next time until we find the thing that works. And yet, as grown-ups, we do the same thing every day, week in and week out, month in and month out, year in and year out. And we expect a different result. In order for you to achieve greatness or success, find your edge. Find that thing inside you that sets you apart, that makes you different from everyone else, that makes you stand out. Find that thing. Then develop the confidence to stand up and be who you were meant to be. Believe in yourself. Believe in that gift that's inside of you, that hidden treasure, that edge that's inside of you. Believe in that. And for those of you who've come to this conference and you're waiting for a sign, there it is. It says, this is the sign that you've been waiting for. I know yesterday morning when I was speaking to some of the guys outside, they said to me, oh, we've come this weekend and all we really want is, we want a sign. This is the sign you've been waiting for, those of you. And remember that this weekend is truly a life-changing event. And it can be for you. I know it is for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carl Schultz. I've been looking for a sign. Thank you, Carl. Ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy his beautiful, authentic energy? Wasn't he so authentic and real? I mean, you can't say he wasn't the real experience. If I'm so authentic and real and not trying to put on a show, he's just who he is. And from the moment I met him, there's no airs about him. He's authentic. So thank you very much, Carl, for that gift.